And we are live. Let's stop the music. Hello, hello. Happy Paddy's Day. That's why I'm wearing green. My old jersey from Lechia Gdańsk. Moving on. Today, we're going to continue with updating LangFlow Dockerfiles. And I think the last thing that we left off was with fixing the loggers, right? Logging is important. Extremely important, especially for production systems, right? That's something people always ignore, but it is required. Before I start, since I was coding already, and I was just having my second breakfast because I'm a hobbit, I was just reading the OpenAI calls DeepSeek to be banned. Interesting. And here's the letter they released. It's an interesting read. Now, I did hear a few takes from from developers and other companies about this, and a lot of people are doing the basic thing. You know, OpenAI, it's not really that open. Dunking OpenAI. How dare they talk about open source software, open source AI models because they're actually closed AI, right? And that's just a kind of, I would say, naive take, just very basic take, right? Anyways, it's about geopolitics, I guess, and people need to understand the geopolitics. I do like some things they said here, some numbers in this open letter to the government. That's nice. So it's worth reading this. I wish they'd be a little bit more surgical in their condemnation of DeepSeek, really about their services. If the model is running locally, we take the responsibility, right? So if you run the local model locally, although obviously it's been trained with, say, Chinese values, not Western values. So yeah, moving on. It's just something that people should probably get into. Since I did start coding, because again, I was eating and coding, because I'm a hobbit, like we established. I went back and updated the Nginx container just now. I didn't test it yet, to provide more of customized logging here. Okay, so just added two variables here: log format, just for custom logs, well, custom format, and sorry, for default format, and then ability to provide custom format as well, because in production systems, we like to always customize the logs, the access logs, so we can then parse them with regular expression and create nice dashboards, right? And you locate in Grafana systems, right? So anyway, so to me, it's essential to have this flexibility, so I can inject this into into my pod YAML later once we deploy this. So anyway, so what I was doing here is I added these two variables, and I did update this file here. So I'm now creating a new file, conf file, logging file, and I also added this variable error log for the Nginx error logs, just to put the level there. So I'm including this file, and then the idea is to come up with a default JSON format and default non-JSON format, and then I have them here. And then if I want to override it, I just provide my custom format here. Okay, booped up, and then there you go. That's all the flexibility I need. All right, and then I just write these variables here into my conf file. All right, I'm just going to test this right now, and then we're going to get back to the backend RESTful API logs, because those need a lot of work. The other thing I changed is this thing here. So let me see if I can do a before timeline. So where's my save? Nope. Oh yeah. So for example here, so this is usually what I see. People just defining, the directory, and then just using mkdir, right? Just standard things, right? Now this is a temp directory. So hold on, questions. So for the temp directory, let me just clean up my workspace here. For your temp directory, you want to use mktemp command in Linux to create it. Okay. All right. So there's advantages to that, right? So, I mean, you can ensure uniqueness, obviously. So in here, what I'm doing here is I'm asking it, using mktemp. D is for directory, and then I'm providing this format. So, and the XXX at the end means that's going to be alphanumeric generated string. So it's just kind of basic Linux here, but this is, to me, it's a better option than doing this kind of basic thing here, because then you prevent conflicts, right? Or potential conflicts. So this ensures uniqueness, okay? So you're going to have unique code base, unique directory here that we then use below to create the Nginx conf file here, right? When we dump it here, and then we use it as part of our deployment, right? So it just reduces problems. Just a little tiny thing like that can improve your code a lot, but not a lot. Let's be reasonable, not a lot. You can improve your code anyways. So that's that. So let me test this. Now, again, the idea here is to have default log format and then another default one for JSON. Now, the reason we like JSON is because, when I'm scraping logs in Loki, or with Loki, which is your logging scraper tool for observability, to get your Docker logs, or you can use FluentD, right? There's many different tools you can use. A log router from, was it Bounce Cloud? Whatever, there's many different tools. I just prefer using Loki because it's just easy to use. If you do it with JSON, it's much easier to look for these logs after, right? It's much easier to create dashboards of logs. So it's much easier to parse the logs than just stand the logs here and then doing regular expressions, right? So it makes it easier on the other side when you're actually doing the observability part, when you're actually, looking at creating dashboards for your system to be able to observe your system. You want to have this flexibility, right? That's why you got to think about it, ahead of time, right? Built in from the start. So observability, security, these are the default states. You don't add them after the fact, right? Because there's nothing like before. This Dockerfile was very basic before we changed it, right? There's nothing here about logs, right? So they have no concept of logs. So if you want to, and we deploy this already, and if you look at the logs, they're not good, right? So now if I want to debug anything in a Kubernetes cluster, using the current Helm deployment that the LangFlow provides, it's very basic, right? And you can be frustrated, you can't get the answers, you can ask basic questions of the system, right? Anyways, moving on. So let's test this. Well, I just also change the make file here, just make it a little bit more consistent with the naming convention here. So since I added my build X commands here, so I can build things locally. Anyway, so I just changed the naming convention, added some colors here just to make it nice. So it fits with their style here, for LangFlow style. Also added one more clean command here, Docker clean, because this one is not that good, right? So I just added another one. So after a while, you're just going to run out of memory, because when you create your Docker installation locally. Where's my Docker? If you go to your dashboard and if you look at your settings, you can see the resources, right? So I'm giving it 60 gigs, right? Now with continuous builds, you're going to just run out of memory, right? So you want to just have that clean up there to quickly clean up the resources, right? Anyways, just something to be mindful. And then you want to just clean up any dangling, resources. Dangling means, not used, your containers, your images, things like that, right? So I added that. So let me build this now. So I combined, so I have multiple commands here. So there's one for backend, front end, ARM, and then one just to build ARM. Now, ARM is just because for my Mac, but there's also the multi-architecture one here as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build, not front end Docker build. I'm just gonna build both of them, front and the back end, so I can just test the new updates added. And then we can jump onto the back end logging. All right. So I still have my little basic script here for testing. Where's my basic script? So we created that last time because I don't want to use Docker Compose for testing. So this is like a basic test here. All it does is just runs 2 Docker commands, front and back end. Right, there's your front end, there's your back end, and just puts on the same network, so it's easy for them to communicate to each other. Anyway, so I'll use the same script to test logging for front end before you get to the back end. All right, let's have a look at the logs. All right, sweet. Okay, so this is it's looking good. The conf file. Where's the changes here? So this is my change. So this is the new thing I added. So we do have the error log warning here, and then we have the new conf. Well, let's have a look at let's just hit the application. So I have it here. Just refresh it a few times. All right, let's see how the logs are looking now. Nice. All right. So this is using the default log because I think that's the property I said initially to be, yeah, so default is the default. All right. There's my beautiful naming convention. Default is the default. And then for the default, I have what? I have this. This is the default. Okay. So you can see, what is it? Remote address, remote user. So we're not going to have the remote user time. Yeah. So yes, it's all good here. Okay, cool. So let me change it to JSON now, which I can do now with environment variable. So going back here, let me add one more variable here, just for testing purposes. What the hell did I call it? Oh, code completion, dude. Why is he fighting me? No, not. Then might be using cursor in a second if this continues. What is my? Oh yeah, this one log format, and equals to JSON. All right. All right, let's run this again. That's why we have this silly little script, so it can be run multiple times. It's going to, kill the containers and restart it for me. All right. Just grab the ID. Let's have a look at the log. Oh, okay. Already we became some logs already. So this should be a JSON format now. Yeah. So they're obviously much more difficult to read, but you can see there's a JSON format. So then if I want to index this with log QL in Loki, I'm gonna have much easier time to doing that with log QL. Also, the Google logger, which we use for GKE. Where's my GKE Google logger? Where's my little here? Let's log in. So let's have a look at the current deployment in our cluster, the front end. So if we look at the logs, let's see how they look. So if you actually, let's hit this back end so we can just start the front end. So you can have some logs here. I guess FYI, we should probably escape or skip the logging the probes, the health probes as well. Maybe I should add this now later. Anyway, so if I go into Log Explorer and GKE, which is gets the Docker logs for us, same idea. So give me not last time. Yeah, okay. So if I look at this one here, for example, right? So this is a text payload. So it's much more difficult. Like the whole thing is really, if I expand all the nested fields, you can see the whole thing is a JSON object. So even Google stores that JSON for you. And then you have this text payload, right? So it would be nicer if this becomes another JSON object here, or JSON within a JSON, whatever, just another property. I can just index it easily, right? So it's just more difficult to do a search here. Doing log queries is much more difficult. So anyways, point is that here's an example of how it looks right now, and it's painful to deal with. So if I want to parse this, I'm going to have to, well, it's obviously you can do it, it's not nice. It'd be nice if it's a JSON object. Anyways, moving on. So I'm happy with that. I should probably test my own, do one more test. So in this case, let's test custom one, right? Because we always got to test stuff. So we do have a custom one which we use for a dashboard. So when this log, where's my log here? So when you scrape this log here, obviously not with Log Explorer, but if you do it with Loki, which Loki is deploying this cluster, you're going to have you can create a dashboard of it, right? So once you create a dashboard, you want to have consistent logs, right? So you can reuse the dashboards, right? So every time you create a Nginx or use an Nginx container, whatever deployment is, you want to have it consistent so you can reuse the dashboards, right? So where's my Grafana? I have it running somewhere here. It's so many different tabs, and just kill some of these tabs. Okay. We'll probably get back to this later. Just doing, trying to compete with Manus. Grafana, right? So for Grafana, if we look at some of the dashboards we have here, so for example, just like a standard here, ingress logs here. Just this is like a basic your Nginx dashboard. So if you want to repurpose this dashboard, you got to make sure that you have the same log format, right? Because in this case, the Docker logs are your server access logs, right? So if you want to pull out the access logs from your Docker logs with Loki and display in the Grafana dashboard here, then it has to be the same format, period, right? Otherwise, it's not going to work. So if you want to repurpose, reuse some of the dashboards you created, well, they presume or assume format of the access logs. Anyway, so you can see, so this is like a basic thing here that we did. It's actually a lot more complicated here. So anyways, and from these, you can actually start doing, obviously, alerts, right? So, anyways, so that's good. So moving on. So I'm happy. Oh, yeah, testing the format, right? So in here, let's test the format. So I forgot what the hell they did here for this one. Right, so it's log, custom log. So I have to have escape JSON in front. Let me just grab this whole thing. Like so. I don't think my bash script is going to like this. Let's just do like a silly one. So let's just go with the time. Like, let's pretend we have a very basic log formatter, which just displays the time. Let me see. Is my bash happy here? Yeah, it should be. Hold on. It's my, yeah, okay, let me run this. I think it's going to be happy with me. Let's rerun this again. Scale the containers. Now, obviously, you can put this in a Docker Compose, and that's what they have here for testing purposes. But I just found it easier to have like a little, test script to quickly get this going. Oh, it's not liking it. That's what I thought. It's not going to like my termination here. Let me see. Device log format is not terminated by what? The bloody hell are you talking about? Right. Okay. Let me see what I did there. Maybe I need to update this. So in here, I'm terminating this at the end. Let me look at this again. Escape. Oh no, I don't need it because I put a termination here. God damn. Okay, so all right. Yeah, it's good I'm being consistent. All right, so just like that. Okay. Interesting. Maybe I was a little bit too fast with this. Wait, hold on. So I'm putting log format here, custom logs, just the name, and then I'm dumping it here like that. Yeah. Okay, because I'm using printf here. Why do I gotta make things difficult for myself here? Now I use printf just to be safe because this is a sh script. So trying to be sh shell script safe. Right. So this is wrong because the escape has to be outside of it. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, let me think about this. Let's do it like that. Okay. It's going to be a little bit more versatile. So then I can add my escape JSON here or not if I wish to, and then have the thing in quotes. Okay, so let me rebuild this again, which is pretty fast. All right, let's run this. All right, at least it's building successfully. So now if I refresh the page, let's refresh it a few times. Let's see how the logs look. All right, perfect. So there's a silly log. Okay, good. I'm happy with this. All right, moving on to the backend now. So we're good with the front end. And for the basic script, I'm just going to remove this. And yeah, I'll just leave it like that. All right. Okay. Let's close. So I'm happy with the front end. Let's just go to the back end now. Let's just close all these different things here. All right, so I started changes in the main. So in the main file, we create the Fast API app. Now, I do have a little problem here because we're calling configure 2 times, and configure is where we actually configure the logs. So I just start refactoring this. So, and if you look at the main, so we call it right before we create the Fast API server here, or the object, and then we call it in the get lifespan here, right? And in this get lifespan, we're calling it with async flag equals to true. So I just added this right now, like a few minutes ago. Or I was eating my second lunch. Now there's a problem here. First of all, there's no need to call it 2 times when you create the Fast API object and then when the lifespan kicks off, because lifespan is just a life cycle for Fast API server. There's no reason to change the configuration of your logger just when, before you start and then after you start. So there's 2 things. So I don't like this already. But second thing is this async flag, right? So this was set to true. Now I just added this variable here because I don't want this to be set to true, right? So async flag means that we're going to basically start this asynchronous logging and log rotation. Okay. Now, this is not good for containers, right? So for containers, you want to keep your containers ephemeral as much as possible. That's always the key, right? You don't want to have logs embedded within your container or just rotating, log files within your container. You have to kind of go and look at them. You have to get into your container or set up another system to extract files from your containers. It's better if those logs are your Docker logs, and then you just pick them up with your log scraper, right? So from the start, to me, this is a problem. So so let me just do some surgery on this here. So first of all, I just don't like this whole concept here of having calling the logs 2 times the same function, one in get lifespan, the other one just right before. Like there's just no reason to do this. And then also I see they call it 3rd time here when they're actually running it locally, right? So they're calling this way too many times, right? That doesn't make sense. So why not just call it once before you start everything, so you have a logs configure. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the one that are here. The only thing is I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the this thing here, async file, just for backwards compatibility. So I'm just gonna get rid of this, like so. All right. It's open source, right? What's the premise of open source? I can fork it and change it. Well, I'm changing it because I think it's bad. So, and I'm just going to put this here, okay, like so. So I'm still going to have the compatibility for async, file longs, so you can actually, put them in a file in some directory, and then you can rotate them, right? So I'm keeping the same functionality. Now I just added this thing here to my env file example, right? And where else? And I added it to mine, and I'm sending it to false, right? Don't use it, okay? Because again, I don't have async files going to a directory somewhere in your Docker container. I just want to expose them as Docker logs, and then collect them with low-key scraper, okay? Now there's a reason why you will have this, but it's a security reason, right? So if you are scraping logs, say database logs, and those database logs potentially could be have information about the data, then that is not for your DevOps eyes, right? DevOps should not have access to it. So tools like Loki should not be scraping those, right? Because that's a security problem. So you shouldn't have your database queries in Loki, because again, that might be privileged information that DevOps should not have, right? So you want to be able to segment these things into whatever, into security boundaries, or have security boundaries between them. Anyways, so there's a use case to have this, but not for this specific use case, right? In this case, I just want Docker logs here, okay? All right, so I'm gonna get rid, okay, fine. So that's that. Next thing, all right, I want JSON logs. So I already saw they were using here patching, and they have serialized log, right? So I just basically, let me just do a little comparison here of what I did. Let's look at the Git. Right, so the serializer. So the idea here is that log guru, or log guru, whatever, how do you pronounce it, your main package here, your default logger here, right? This is the one we're configuring. It can serialize things to JSON already, and the idea here is to use patching to add a little patch where they intercept a record in log guru, and then they serialize it and call the serialize method here. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to change that. I'm like, okay, I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but since I already have it, so what I did is I'm just expanding the serialized log here. So I'm adding more things. So I just added timestamp. Timestamp is not human readable, so I want to have human readable time What else? The other function, what function, line, process, and thread. Okay, so, and I'm adding this exception here, although this exception, yeah, let's go through an exception. I'm gonna have to change this in a second. So what happens? So yeah, so there we go. So they remove any handlers and they patch it, right? So then they serialize it. Now they did have a concept of a container log and container JSON, which is the same thing. But then they just have message here, which means that's what looks like garbage. And they use serialize equals to true. So they didn't even use the stuff they serialize. So I don't know what they did that, right? It just kind of defeats the purpose, right? So because you're patching it, why not just use the one you just serialize above, right? It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of stupid, whatever. Then they have container CSV. I don't know what the hell that is, but they want to basically give you like a CSV version of your Docker logs. Anyway, so I'm just going to keep it for backwards compatibility. And then they have this, the one with the rotating logs here. This is the default one. That's kicked off. And yeah, so here's this one here, going to async file here, which is defined above. And they have the format, which is defined at the top as well. You can provide your own format as well. Okay, so I like the ability to provide my own format as always. So that's going to be used. But the rest of it is, I just chopped it up into, again, functions, because it's one long big ass function configure. So it's difficult to understand. So I just chopped it up right now. I didn't actually test it yet. So I see there's a bug already there. So right now we have the configuration here, updating the log, and then I moved the other things into special functions, right? So the previous code is here, still the same, nothing changed. This is how it was before, async, file sync here, and rotating of the logs, so it goes into this directory here. Again, this is not something I would use for containers. If I'm containerizing application, if I'm running this on a VM, sure, I might use it just to save some logs. Anyways, and then they update the UV-corn or G-unicorn, depending which one you're using, logs. So this is the new thing I added. So configure container logging, and we just provide the mode. So in this case, it's going to be the container, CSV, JSON, or just regular container. So for regular container, it's just dumping just simple string, right? Like it was done before, using the default logger. So just the same thing you would see when you're running it locally. It's it's not JSON formatting now. This is the CSV. I kept it the same. I just don't know why they're calling it comma separated values, and they have this format. I don't know. I mean, well, there's no value in this right now, right? So for me, I can just use either this or the JSON one, right? So anyway, so that's for backwards compatibility, whatever they had there. I just don't want to break it. Now, this is the change here for the format. Yeah, again, I'm using the serialized version because it's already been serialized, right? So why not use it? So when you patch it, so this is the code they already had. So I'm just going to use it, right? So they patch it, put in serialize here, and then, why not use it? So it's been serialized right above that, right? We just added more stuff into the serialization, right? So that should do it. Anyways, these are my initial changes. Let's run this. Let me run this in the debug mode. Just put some debugs here and see how this log looks before we build the container. So where's my debug? Here we go. Let's see how this looks. All right. So we hit so this is from configure. Where's this from? Okay, so it's getting the main one. Cool. Right. So that's what I wanted. And async should be false. Okay. So for my setup, I will always want to be set to false. Again, people can. It's as I said as default to true. Okay, so it's not going to break anything. All right. Let's see. Let's step through this quickly. Removing, patching. What else do we have here? Right, so I set this to container now. Where's the env file? for testing. Right, so container JSON is the one we're testing right now. So this is the environment we're supposed to be running in. Oh, just the flag for the logger, nothing else. All right, let's see. Step into this one. Let's see what I have here. What's the format? Format is none, right? Because the format doesn't need to be set for the JSON one, because we're just getting it here. We're just dumping JSON. All right. Let's run this. Oh, what happened here? What is serialize? Serialize is not there, but it's here. Oh, but it's not there. Looks like they have a bug in here. I would say they, because I actually haven't changed that part at all. Okay. So serialize is missing. So I'm using here serialized. So serialize is coming from the patch. Patch should be here, which is then coming from here. All right, so the patch is not working. Let's look at the patch. Well, let me put a breakpoint into this this class here. Where's it? It's breaking here, 184. Yeah, here. So let's just run this again. Let me just refresh something. Let's refresh something to. Oh, the front is not connected, is it? You know what? Let's kill the containers and then run the front end as well. So we can generate some logs. All right. So in this case, we'll go make front end. So just click up the front end. It's running on 3000 now, the standard port. All right, let's see if we can get some logs going. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's crashing over here. Let's output some of these things here. So we have formatted record. Let's see what that is. All right, so that looks good, but I don't see the serialize in here. And then for this one, for pre-computed format, that should be a string. That is, okay, so serialize, and then we have an exception added to this. Okay, the exception might be a problem once we fix the serialize. All right, so it's not there. So it looks like the patch is not executing. Oh boy, so let's have a look at the patch. Let's have a look at the patch here. So here, patch. Oh, it returns a logger. Well, so this should be like logger equals to logger, right? That should be like that. Right. Wait, wasn't it always like that? You mean the logger never worked? Let me see. Let me look at the git change. So this never worked. Okay. Oh boy, this is the beauty of open source, right? You can always fork it and fix it yourself, right? If you have the energy and effort. So they patched it, but they never used it. Thank you, LangFlow. So you never tested the logs, huh? And that's why the logs are so bad? Oh boy. All right, let me stop this. So yeah, oh boy. All right. Stop the debugging. All right, so Patrick, why are you fixing the logs? You should just go to production. Really, 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 really. Thank you, businessman. Yeah, so it's not even working. Okay, so they patch it, but because it returns a logger. You're supposed to just, yeah, let's just go and look at the actual code. So here, where is, let's look for patch. All right, patch. Yeah, so yeah, it returns a brand new logger, right? So if you use the old one, you're not going to have the patch on it. So I'll even show you example here, right? Logger equals logger patch. Come on. Is that the state of open source? Everything is broken. It seems to be these days. Are they writing this with language models? All right. So that's annoying. Okay, let's fix this. So right. So we know it never worked. All right. So let's see. So here should be something like that. Logger equals to this. Now, logger is a global function, isn't it? Right. So you either you define it as global, or you pass them this logger, or change the name and pass them to all your variables. Oh boy. So I don't like making global variables, flagging them. So you know what? Let me move this to the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a global variable. So this is going to be a little bit of a dirty Python here. So do it like that. And then just going to go global logger. Okay, I should do it. It's discouraged. Yeah, thank you. I know it's freaking discouraged, but we don't have a choice here because the way it was coded, man, right? So this is going to allow us to actually change this global variable once it's patched, and then yeah. Anyways, this is not good code. Logger is a singleton, so you want to have one instance of a logger throughout the entire application, not multiple loggers, obviously. So you should code it as a singleton, and you should have a one place when you configure it. Now, if you want to use patching, well, you can see that it returns brand new logger, right? So, you know, it defeats the purpose of having a singleton, I suppose, all the way it was done. And so there's a few fundamental problems here, okay? I'm not going to fix them, but this is the way to deal with this issue and remove okay, let's just run this and see what happens. Let's see where this goes. All right, let's look at this logger here option. So this one already has patching. You can see this one already worked, right? There's your patching function, okay? So it should be patching it right now. So we should get the JSON serialized okay, data. Okay, so let's run this. Let's see where this goes. Okay, there it goes. It's already patching it. See, like that's all I have to do. Put a breakpoint here and see if it works. It doesn't, right? So now it works. Okay, so what we have here. So this is a record that we created above, a serialized record. Let's run this. All right, so now it's complaining about the exception. Yeah, I knew the exception is going to be a problem. I messed it up. So let's see it. So now let's have a look at the object here. Extra has nothing here. And what about this one here? This one is just that. Well, there's a bit of a disconnect here. Where's my extra? And it's crashing right there when I added the exception. So, okay, so this is on me. So I added this little bit of code here. So I'm just put a breakpoint here. And I'll just fix this. Just going to remove this. All right, let's just do a step into this method here and see what the hell I messed up. Timestamp Yes, message, sure, that's all good. All right, so far, this is good. And so that's a nice JSON object to dump. And next thing is here, exception. Record get exception. Does it even have exception? Did I just assume it had exception? What just happening? Oh, it's empty? Exception equals to none. Okay, so what's your problem? If exception is not known, what the hell did I mess up here? Oh, because this has exception. Okay. Let's see. So what are we going to do here? Pop exception also here. You know what? Let's put a breakpoint here as well. There's something funny happening with this exception here. Right. So this doesn't have an exception, but this thing here does have an exception. So when we compare, if you try to convert the dictionary into a string here, it's going to throw an exception because it's not there. All right. I suppose we should always have an exception then. Let me run this. Right, it's dev equals false, so we pop the exception. Why not always have the exception? Well, exceptions can definitely leak information, your personal information, or clients' information, or your consumers' information. So it's always nice to disable them in production systems. However, there's some funny business happening here. You know what? I can probably add the same if here, if record exception, and it's not in dev. Although I don't know why we're not running this in dev right now since I'm in dev. What's dev? Oh, they have a global variable here for dev and set to false. Oh, well, that's a bit strange. To control the dev environment like that, why not just put it in your settings? I'm just going to ignore that. I don't care to fix that right now, this settings thing. Okay. So after this, we pop the exception. So it's not going to be there. So the patcher executed. Let's see what this looks after the patcher. So log record. So look at the log record right now. See how it's changed. So here's my extra serialization. So that works nicely. So I have it as a serialized object here. Okay. Now the next thing is what? I don't have an exception here. And let's look at the format. So, let's step into this and just see what's happening here. All right, let's just go into the emit function here. Let's see what we have. Okay, so this is the formatter. Let's see what the formatter is. A what? Oh, it's false. What? Format decorator of where's the format? Is format dynamic? Is format dynamic? Oh, it's not set. Okay. It crashed. Wait a minute. It crashed at the exception here. All right, so this is what the problem is. All right, let's run this again. All right, so what's happening here? Record, so we're trying to get the exception, but we just popped it. So that's wrong. So whatever they had here, it's this pop here. It's not good. It's going to throw an exception, right? Why have it? Why pop it? Just set it to none, man. Just it works. For fuck's sake. Yeah, let's not swear. LangFlow, guys. Why? Okay. Right. So if I try to get this dictionary value, I should throw an exception. Yeah. So, so it's broken in two places. So I guess they didn't see this bug because it wasn't working initially. Okay, great. All right, so let's fix this. So we can see that the emit method requires the key to exist. It doesn't have to be, we don't care if the key is there. Sorry, if it's set or not, but it has to be there because it checks for it, right? So let's go back to the logger. So this popping here, it's just not pop, okay? If it's false, let's just set it to, you know what? Let me just move this. Okay, let's pause this, man. God damn it. Why? Everything I touch takes quadruple the time. I am just going to move this up. So it's just going to be basic patch now. Let's move this here. If it is dev, then I'll just set this to none. So the exception is going to be, what I'm going to do here, none. Okay. Else. Oh, come on, code completion. Why are you messing with me? Else. I'm just going to do this. Yeah, let's double check if it actually exists just for safety purposes. So like that. Oh, come on. Just like that. Okay. So if it's false, which you set to false right now, we're not in dev mode, we're prod mode, so we're not going to get it. Now it's nice to have anyways, let me run this. Let's see if this fixes the error because I just want to move on. But for production systems, it's nice to know about the exception. I know you can use Sentry and Sentry can capture it for you and send it, right? But it's nice also to have it in the, yeah, anyway, I'll just step into this method quickly. All right. Oh, there we go. So this, okay, so that fixes that issue. Any other issues? Oh, now we have a problem with serialize again. Okay. All right, at least we are okay here with this issue. So we fixed the exception. Where's the next error? The next error happens here. What's your problem now? Exception extra. So extra is missing. And formatted is extra. Why isn't the extra here? Did it change on some? Did a patcher execute? Is there two patchers right now that we're running? Because the patcher executed and we should have our extra. Okay, you know what? Let's step through this quickly as well. So let's run this as a crush. Let's just do this from the beginning. Let's just stop this and see if we can get the patcher working. So right now it's complaining that this doesn't exist, but it should, right? So right now, yeah, it sets it. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So at this point, we just have one patcher here. So at this point, we should have our extra value there in the log record. Where is it? Here's my extra. That's what I want to use, serialized. Okay, so it exists here. Where does it disappear? We still have it here. Just double check if it disappeared at this point. Still there. Okay, let's go into the emit. What is your problem? When we do a copy here, let's see, look at the record. Do we still have it here? Yep. And let's look at the copy. After the copy, is this a shallow copy or not? Because I'll be upset if this is a shallow copy. Nope, still have it. It was a deep copy. Well, deep. Got all the properties. Okay, cool. So that's good. Let's see. Still got it. Still there. We just set the exception. Okay, cool. What's happening here? Caller message stripped. Is it caller message? Nope. So we don't care about that. All right, what's happening here? Right, so we got the debug. So that's our level. Cool. Pre-callerize formatting. Yeah, we don't care that. We don't have that. This is still. Well, let's look at the pre-computed format right now. See if it actually exists. It shouldn't exist, sure. All right, let's have a look at that. Okay, so extra and serialize and then exception. Okay. Now formatted record should still have my serialized was extra. Still exists. Serialized. Oh, what were these? That was single quotes here. What is that about? All right. Let me run this. So this is a way to convert a dictionary to a string. Oh, that worked. Nice. Okay. Oh, it's working. Okay, maybe it just wasn't refreshed. Okay, cool. So let me just remove the breakpoints here so we can actually see this in action. I have a funny feeling here this is because of Prometheus of the second server. Because you can see it's working and then it's not working. So let's run some logs. Let's start the application here. Let's see what happens. Where is this coming from? Let's put a breakpoint in the emit method. So every time we emit something, we can just inspect it quickly. All right, what is this? This is just a simple warning. Cool, let's see what happens. And this is running in this process, not in this process. Okay, so we have two processes running. Let's debug. So there should be one process. I guess the other one is for the Python server or for the metric server. This one doesn't have extra. Why doesn't this have extra? Do we have multiple loggers here? Is that what's happening here? Let's look at this logger. Where's this logger coming from? Right. We're not grabbing the log, so we're not consistent throughout the application. So in this case, when the logger is defined here, we're just grabbing it. We're not grabbing the one that was modified, right, with a patch. Ah, boy. So whenever you do logging, it's nice to have a single place where you encapsulate the log guru logger, right? Because right now we're grabbing this one, okay, in this module, whatever this module is, component loop, and which is so we're grabbing this one here. But then when we start the application, we're grabbing this one here, right? So and then we're setting it here, right? So we have a global logger here. So these are two separate loggers. Let's confirm that. So let's get the class IDs so we can verify to ourselves that these are actually two separate loggers, because that's a bit of a problem. So that means there's a much bigger issue in this application than just simple logging bugs, right? So yes, let's run this. It's just annoying that something basing as logging is just messed up, and the people are just running with the functional requirements, and non-functional requirements are just set to hell, right? So, all right, let's just dump some of these class variables here. So, oh boy. Let's confirm to ourselves that we have multiple loggers. We should have one, but if there's multiple ones, then that's a bigger issue to deal with. Okay. So, what's the thingy? What's the thingy to get the class, the hash number of the class? I'm blanking out right now. Help me, Googler. Help me. Where's my Google? Right, instance ID, that's what I was trying to get at. All right. Let me dump the instance ID and let me see if they even have the instance ID for this one. Is it just ID or instance ID? Or is it self.id within the class? I don't remember. I don't remember. Why they're always so inconsistent with their information. All right, you know what? Let's look at the dict and look at the internal attributes, because then we can probably find it. So Google logger dot dict. Oh, don't you hear when the enter doesn't work in your logger? Sorry, in your debugger, only tabs. All right. That's the object ID here, right? So we have this one on the screen. Okay, cool. So now let's just see if the object ID used by the other, by this components tool here is the same. So this should be the same logger, right? Whenever we have a logger output, we should have the same logger and not different one. Okay, let's run this. And did the breakpoint work? And let me just refresh the page. Where's my page? Where's my goddamn page? All right, there we go. So now, if you go to look at this one here, let's see if this is the same one. Well, obviously, the options are different. You can see the patching is not here. So this number 7 is the patching. It's empty array. In our logger, we have a patch. So this is 111 something 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 here. Blah blah blah. That's the ID. The other ID is what? Holy crap! We already got so much crap. Oh crap! Where's the other? Did I just miss it because you have so much crap? You know, I should just put a watch on this thing and goddamn it, just watch it. Where's my watch command? Watch. Yeah, add to watch. Let's do. Let's edit this expression. Sure. Let's go. Let's watch the underscore dict. All right. So we don't have to look for that. Okay, so that's that. Let's see if you can. I can do this. Let's run this. Wrong button. Run this. Cancel. All right. I'm just going to stop this and just from start again and see if we can get verified that we have the same ID in both places. All right, so this is this logger before it creates a new one. So we can see what is this? It's 1167, right? So if I go step over this, what is this logger now? Same object, right? Is it the same object? Let me see what patch that's specifically. Does it repackage the same object? Open up here, dude. Why being difficult? Oh my god, what the hell just happened here with cursor? Sorry, VS Code. Why you suck so badly, VS Code? No, don't go into. Why is it going to my interface here? Just go here, dude. Let's look for patch. Here, let's look for patch here. Yeah, that's a brand new class it creates, right? So yeah, so this one has our option here. There's the function here. So this is cool. Now let's just run this, and I'm just going to remember this ID. It's 1167, whatever this address, core object. All right, let's run this. Let me go back to the same place where there we go. Right, so you can see it's different, right? Oh boy, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? So what we can do here to deal with this code base that is so inconsistent with the loggers? So you can see this logger does not have to patch anymore. It's empty, right? So yeah. I'm gonna put a breakpoint actually into constructor here and see how many times we actually call this constructor. So here, and then let me put a breakpoint also in the actual class here. And then I'm going to put one more in the patch just to see how many times This object gets initialized and the patch is being called here. Okay, let's do this from the beginning again. They say logs are simple, right? Extremely simple. All right, so I go, there's a first call. This happens here. Yeah, so when we grab it, so we do an import before we even use it. So there we go. So that makes sense. And then we're supposed to just call it in our main here, right? Config. All right, cool. So that's the first one, right? Moving on, next. I'm calling it again. Where's this one called? So this one is called in, what is this one? Main again, 2 times. Why is it second process? So this is in a separate process. Why do we have 2 processes here, man? For freaking sakes, man, in this debugger. All right, so called second time. All right, so now we have 2 classes, okay? There we go. So this one is called with patcher is nothing, okay? All right, moving on, next. There you go. Now it's calling the configure method. This should be coming from the main, right? When you create the app. So that's right before we get the fast API running the server. So that is correct. That's what we want. Okay. Next. We call the patch here. That's where we're patching it. And then here we should have, so this is the object we care about, right? This is our object, okay? 107 CE, okay? There we go. Moving on. Now we just call it second time. Where is this called from? This is called from, where is this coming from? This is the interceptor handler here. So this is, we defined interceptor here for what? For here, for the G unicorn, okay? Or UVcorn, one of these things. Let's see. Scroll down a bit more. Right, we're just trying to go through the handlers here. Yeah, this is the UVcorn handler, okay? Since we're kicking off the UVcorn. You know what, let me double check if it's actually coming from the main. Because in main, we have 2 calls as well. Where's the main? Main. So this is a bit of an issue. You should not be calling the logger configuration so many times. You just do it once, not multiple ones. I just want to double check if it's this one here. It's coming from here. I have a funny feeling they're calling it from here as well. All right, let's run this again. Oh boy. I think we should do a session when we create fast API server, fully baked from scratch, fully configured, without any functionality, business functionality, just fully configured. Because it looks to me like people are just reinventing the wheel. Every time I look in your code base, somebody does it differently, right? They do it their own way. You know what? I should do it my way and use it as a template for everything that we do, so it's always correct. Verify and validate every part of that, system stuff in your server, and then we can focus on the business requirements, the function requirements, right? Because it feels to me like people just run with the business logic and they just come back and add the shit on top, right? And they don't even know what the hell they're doing because all can do is just write business logic. They don't even know how the system works. That's how it feels like. Anyways, so logger created here, logger created again, right? So this one here, this is without a patch. And this one's created, which one? This so it's 2 sub process again. This is 6.5, okay? Just going to keep track of that. Yep. So this is our configuration. There's the patcher. We're adding our function here to patch. Where's the function? Yeah, it's called patching. Moving on, calling it again. This is from where? Where is this one called from? Still here? Why is it called again? Oh, because it's coming from here. Okay, cool. That makes sense. And this should have our function. Okay. So that's good. That's still expected behavior. I'm just going to remember this 1148. And we have our patch here. Yes, one function. All right, let's run this. All right, I'm calling it again. Where is this coming from now? This one still has the patch, and this is coming from. I guess it doesn't matter for now because it has our patch, so I'll just ignore this. This is from where? Oh, it just creates a new one. Okay, that's fine. So the emit is creating a new logger here. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is the handler here. Oh boy. So the intercept handler is kicking off a new logger. Great. Are we losing it here at this point? Do we still have a patch? We still have a patch. Where is the patch? What? Here. Still the functions here. Moving on. Let's run. All right. Now is the patch still there? Still there. We already see errors in the log. You know what? I'm just going to. Okay, wait. Okay, so what is this one here? Does this one have a patch? Still has a patch. And it's our patch. Okay, cool. So that one actually should give us an output. Let me refresh the page just to get the exact same log that we had before. There we go. Now, what about this one here? This one, it doesn't have a patch, right? And it's running the same process, 2165, right? In the main thread. Right. Okay. So there we go. There's the problem. The logging is not thread safe. Let's put it this way. Let's call it simply the logging is configuration. This project is just not well configured at all. Even though they have the configure method, which they call right here, right before, and they try to configure it, their configuration is, first of all, it was never actually patching. Now that we are patching it, it's not working well because there's other places where we create a brand new logger, right? So usually what I do is I create a singleton, call it app logger, and I put everything into that, and then I use that. So for example, in this case, I wouldn't actually do this. I would say app logger, right? So then I'm supplanting or usurping the Loguru logger with my own version, which only has configure Loguru, right? That's the way, to me, that's the best way of doing it, especially in Python applications, to deal with these logs or loggers being created all over the place and with different configurations. This is a big code base. I gotta find a way to patch this so everything is updated all at once. Oh boy. Let's see, what can we do here that is fast? So we're relying on the patch. So the patch should have our JSON serializer. So maybe we should ignore the patch and serialize every time when we have a log. So then we can, let me see. Yeah, maybe we drop the patching because such a bad design all over the place with the logger, because we keep losing the patch. But if we work with this setup right now, where the logger is created pretty much in every other Python module. We don't have the global state. We lose the global state. So let's move this down to the output. So when we emit something, which is going to provide a formatter and use, okay, yeah, let's do that. We're not going to fight these demons here. Maybe next week we'll go and rewrite this whole thing from scratch, just the Python fast API stuff, because I feel like whoever did this had a basic understanding of fast API. All these servers, web servers, how to configure them correctly. Looks like they just jumped onto business logic, right? So yeah, let's do that. Let me stop this, the debugger, and let's see what we can do here. So since the patch is garbage, because we're losing the patch because of the way things are being recreated in the classes. So instead of using the patch here, I'm just going to serialize every time. It's going to be the same amount of work, which is not using internal whatever patching here, right? So yeah, let's move this down to, first of all, let me just delete this patch thing here because it's just stupid. Okay, they pretend it's working, it never did work. Same thing for this thing, I guess. Removing handlers. If there's multiple loggers, then it's just going to remove the handler from one, and then just going to, so you're going to have the default handler. Oh my God, why is it so freaking annoying? Always opening up to my PyI files. Go to Py here. So, right, let me look at this thing here. So by default is what? Yeah. So it calls it and it just pops it from handlers, but then the handlers is at the core, and the core is created every time in it. Every time it's anything happens here in it, the core is created here, right? So I'm just gonna ignore that part as well because it's a minor issue. I think by default we have the standard error by default, so we don't care about that. We're just going to be sending it to standard out in Docker containers, so that's okay. Where else? I'm just going to ignore these two here because I'm sure they're done incorrectly. Yeah, okay. So we're using this one here now. So okay, whatever. Let's chat GPT, bro. Code generation and or Claude or whatever the hell they were doing, and more thinking about the actual code, how to write decent code. Anyway, so here, this thing here, format, this is going to go away. So we're going to move everything into here. So we're not going to use the serialized version anymore for JSON, which means the patching, I'm just going to delete the patching just because I'm just annoyed with this garbage code. That's gone. All right, now serialize true. You know what? I'm just going to keep the serialized log for now. And what I'm going to do is use the default version of serializer. So here I can say serialize true. Okay. I just have to give it a format. So what's a good format? Let me look it up. What's the format for the JSON thing? I don't see it. Where is my format? Where's my docs? Docs. So we're looking for the default serialization for logor. Just double checking. All right, you know what? I'm just going to dump out, do a JSON dump as they suggest. So here, this is going to be my JSON dump. So let's do this. We are using the or JSON, right? So we're using this thing here. So I'm going to do this JSON dump here. Can I just reuse this function? No, I can't pass the function into it. I have to. Or can I? Hold on, it's the same thing though. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. So I can just. Oh, but these are values. I can't put values in here. I have to. Has to be a template. Oh crap. Okay, so let's do a template. So first of all, I have to grab this. We're using or JSON here for this project to the JSON dump. So let me see. So what I want to do here is do this, but I need to define the format here. So every time we do this, we're going to have a JSON format here. So hopefully this thing, oh wait, it's going to help me, hopefully. There you go. I want this. What else? Do I need to call decode here? This thing here? I'm not sure. Let me call decode, okay, just in case. We'll know if it, okay, anyway, so here. So there's the template. What am I missing? File, what I have at the top. I want to get a little bit more information here. So I'm going to let me grab this whole, where is it? This whole thing, and the exception, will ignore the exception for now. So yeah, just dump it here. So I have it as reference. All right, so what do we have? We have time, level, human time. Let me just do the human time. Hold on. For timestamp, no, that should be time. And for timestamp, we have the, not this, but, oh boy, what do we have for this? We just grab the timestamp here, right? So, I'm just going to ignore timestamp, just have time. Okay, go away. Time, level, message. We need a message here. Oh, at the bottom is message. What else do we have? Level, file. I don't even have file before. Do I care about file? Let's see if it gives it to me. Where else do I want? Function. I want the line number, process and thread, okay? Process and thread. Cool. Let's put the message at the end. Okay, that makes sense. What? So that'll be our basic JSON format string for our logger. Let's deal with the exception in a second. So the timestamp is an interesting one because timestamp, it's like you can see it here. It's the elapsed time, it's date and time. So when you call timestamp, you get the non-human readable, the long string. It's a number. So it's not really that useful. It's nicer to have the obviously the formatted up to a second or millisecond, time. Now, the problem with time is it's a time zone, right? So a lot of times we run our servers in a cloud in different regions. Now, correlating these logs becomes a problem because once you start looking at Loki and looking at the logs, you want to understand the logs from a time zone perspective, right? So for time, I always like to put a time zone in there as well. Have an ISO time. So let me look it up. It's a minor thing, but it becomes a big thing. And just double check function module. Do they have module? I don't have module. Okay, so here, let's start module. All right, module function. All right, so the line, I'm gonna put the line here at the end after here. Because just the way I read it. So it's file, module, function, line, process, thread. So process and thread should be above. Okay. I just want to have it in a specific sequence. So you can always look at the end, file, level, here, just process like that. Okay. All right. Anyway, so I'm happy with that. Now, again, for timestamp, it's nice to have it there because then you can convert it. But converting it in your Loki with a function into something readable is always a problem. So what I like to do is for time, also maybe provide a time zone here as well. So it knows hold on. Usually what I do is I inject the time zone into the fast API. Yeah, let me do that. So it's an environment variable that always adds. So let me do that first, okay? All right, let me see if they have time zone in here. Time zone. Now this is gonna save you a lot of headaches if you have the correct time zone on your logs or on in your system. Where's time zone? To have it in a dev container? What the hell? Who cares if it's in a dev container? Why would I need a time zone in my dev container? Okay, I need a time zone in logger. Where is it here? No, that's logger. No. Yeah, so I can add CZ to the end, right, to the string. Because right now I have this. So if okay, where else? I don't see it set anywhere. So that might be a problem. Well, current date. What about this? Current date. What is this? Oh, this is for the front-end application. This is just a component, right? But not the server. So this piece of code here, that should be on your server. So when your server starts, it starts with a specific time zone, and everything is offset to that time zone. Let me see. So they do have it in multiple places, but they don't have it on the server itself. So in here they use UTC for the start time. Yeah, so they do set in the database the time zone, the UTC time zone. So at least we can assume that everything in the database UTC. What about this thing here? Why is this different? Okay, as times. Okay, cool. So it looks like they're thinking about it from a database point of view and messaging point of view, but not the server point of view. And that's what we care about right now, from the server point of view. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. Tokens, sure, tokens should have it. All right. It looks like it's not set anywhere on the server. Okay. All right. So let's just get back to the main function for a second. So anyways, let me save this. All right, cool. All right. So that looks okay so far. Now let's see. So going back to the main, when the Fast API is set up, Fast here. So not here, not in the base. We want to go into, where's the main? Here, this main. All right. So let's see if there's time set here, which is date. Nope, maybe time. All right, so they have a middleware, I guess, for timeouts, which is good. All right, nothing here. Oh boy. Okay, let's set it. So I'm going to set it here when this Fast API starts, when the server kicks off, and then we know that the process that the server runs with our predetermined time zone, and then everything else is going to be within that context if we don't define the time zone. So then when we look at the Docker logs, we'll be okay with just interpreting them as they are because they're in the correct time zone. Yeah, that makes sense. At least in my head, it makes sense. So let me see where I'm going to squeeze this. So this is where we kick this off, right? So I want to set it right before we start this off. Let me have a peek at how we dealt with this before. Where's my previous code? So let me see. Where would be, which project is a good example of that? Let's look at this Fast API project here. So let me see. Do we have time zone set in this one? Time. We set the middleware. No, actually, no. What's a good time? Good project to look at? It's the one we just did because we spent a lot of time fine tuning all these non-functional requirements, and that will be in Graph Agent. This one here. So in this one, let's see what the hell I did in this one. Oh, come on, augment, go away. Interesting. I like what I did here. I pat myself in the back. Now it's nice and clean. Now, where the hell is the time zone setup? So we have a builder, Fast API builder here. Okay. I guess we're going to have to update our builder here because I don't see it here. I don't see it. Okay. We did use the library, at least in this case. Well, this project is not live yet, so we're going to definitely go back and change this if it's not properly configured. But in poetry, yeah, no, we don't have it here. Let's look at some of our live projects and see if that's actually there, because I'll be upset at myself if I don't have this correctly configured. So let's look at some of these ones here. Let me open maybe the Kubernetes one. Just want to verify, have one good example of something that is, that we did, and it's, let's look at this one, kubot. Do we set this one on the Docker container itself? Because I don't like doing that. Where's the configuration here? Let's look at this one here. This config pi. Yeah, it looks like we just did it in a Docker container. No, I like to do it in code to be more explicit. Yeah, okay. All right, so there's many ways of doing it. I see we're doing it in a container. I'd rather do it in code, pass that in as a variable, time zone variable, and then, oh boy, okay. Let's do this. All right, let's close some of these things here. Too many things open. All right. Back in LangFlow. All right, so we have two options. Either set it here on the Fast API or update the logs, right? Now, if I put it here and inject it with a conf file environment variable, then I'm putting the I'm bubbling up the knowledge, the business rules here to DevOps guys, which they don't want to think about, right? They will have to be aware of this little nuance here and deal with it, right? So that's always something I don't like to do. Bubble up business logic to DevOps, because this is, in essence, it's business logic, right? Your time zone or your time issues. So the second option is to update this and then always add a time zone. So what was it? Just Z at the end, right? So like that. So this now will push the time zone issue to the logs, and you always have the time zone. And so when you grab it with Loki, you can actually fiddle with there, right? You can filter by specific time zone, or at least run the query so it ignores the time zone, or includes the time zone in your where class, whatever, where time is something blah. Okay, so I think I'll do it here because bubbling up knowledge of DevOps is a problem because there's so many projects DevOps people have to deal with, and you want to encapsulate the rules for each project within the project, so they can look at it from a more DevOps point of view, like containerization point of view. Yeah, let me do it here. So that's that. Let's test this. All right. Let's kick off a new debugger. So the difference here is now we're just providing the format each time. So we don't use the patch anymore. So when the log is emitted, it's basically using that. Yeah, there's no patching anymore. Okay. Just too many breakpoints. Oh, time. Okay. So I guess it's working. Just we have an issue here with time. Time. What do I do with time? Time. Oh, is there even time in no, there's no time. Right. Okay, so going back to where's my string here? So if we look at the record here, the log record, let me just dump it here. So I'm over here. So where's the time? Is there a time here? No, there's, so we have the time zone issue here. Oh, there's the time here. Right, what's time? What's your problem here? Time. No, time exists. That's a bit strange thing here. So I see it exists. Is it because of the double quotes? That's a bit strange. Let me see, where's my time? Let's see what I do here. Time. Let me see, do I need to convert this? I'll just put a breakpoint here just to see it. Just kick off the front end again so we can trigger some logs. All right. Just double check if there's no funny business happening here with the loggers here. All right. So as a first test, let's see. Let's simplify this so there's no issues here. Let me just dump it here without any formatting. Okay. Reloading logger. Let's see what happens now. All right, let me trigger this again. Yeah, let's just put a breakpoint here as we had before, just to double check. Yeah, sure. Let's just, where's my breakpoint? So I want to put it here, line 180. All right. And going back to the breakpoint, we have breakpoint on here. All right. So I might want to make this a lambda, a function. You know what, let me just grab this whole thing because I just want to make sure this is all good. All right, so the string is okay. Wait, hold on. Time. No, wait, this should be no, that's good. I'm just not liking these. Doesn't look like a correct JSON format because I'm using it a mustache here. Let me double check here. So anyways, let's run this here. So pre-formatted here. Let's see what that looks like. All right. It still adds the exception here, so that's a bit weird. So yeah, so I got to fix that. Don't know why it keeps on adding that exception there. I guess because it's realization. Now here, formatted record. Let's just double check that. What is the actual? All right. So we have what? We do have time. Okay. We also what? We have all the other properties here. It's good. File, function, level line, message. Okay, so we have all of them. Okay. So what's the problem? So when I run this right now, let's see what happens. Right. So I think the problem is with the string, the way it's generated. It doesn't seem like it's a valid. So when you do when you do format map, that just converts this object here, the dictionary, into using the string to another dictionary. But then the pre-format, where's the pre-format? Let me just double check the pre-format. So that'll be the format map. All right. Let me see what the expectation is for that string here, for the format of the string. Yeah, it looks like the JSON that we're generating here is just not good. So yeah, I should probably start doing some tests here, so then we can just put it in a unit test and kind of verify it versus running it through the server, just be a little bit faster. So yeah, that's a mental note, I guess. Well, we still have to do tests. I gotta test this code. I can't just release it without testing, right? All right, just looking at the doc. So there's an expectation there that it's going to be just here, regular format here. Where's my little tab here? So if you look at the way this runs, it's expecting the curly braces here, but this to be a string. So putting this in a JSON string like that, it's just not going to work. See, for example, if you look at this, oh my god, why is my thingy so slow? One of these processes is blowing up my computer. I'll have to check. But if you look at this string, there's an assumption made here that this dictionary is going to go into specific things here. Curly braces, something right? Like with this one here, name. This is a good example. So we have a string here, which is let's just run this here. So let's just edit this. Actually, before I do, let me just see what the hell is eating up all the CPU, because my thing is very slow. Look at this, just highlighted it. All right, let's see if you can look at the activity monitor and see if we have a runaway process here, because it's really killing my Mac, my beautiful, tremendous, most powerful Mac that knows everybody in China. All right. What's happening here? Oh, this website I'm on is killing me. Why is this website using so much of the CPU? What is this? Right. Okay. Why are you so stupid, man? Seriously, man. All right. So this website is garbage, but okay. So Geeks for Geeks is taking up so much CPU, man. And it did start when I went to this website, right? So look at this. Look how much CPU it's using. It's not. What the hell is it doing? Yeah, I'm sure it's open source. Oh, somebody's not bitter, is it? Okay. I was just gonna type this in here, but you know what? Screw this, man. Anyways, close this. Such a bad website. God damn it. All right. All right, so we can do it here, right? Within our debug window. So I'm just going to craft a little string here. So we have our, here you go. We're still in the debug. Here. So we have pre-formatted and we have this. So what I can do is I can do this. Just test it quickly. So I can go say time and then go format, what's it called? Format underscore map Pass this in. Right, see, that works, okay? Now, if I pass in my current string, which is this pre-computed format, so you can see it's time, but it's the whole thing is, again, it's a JSON string, right? So it's a bit of a problem. I can just grab, let's do this again. Let me just grab multiple things. So let me just get time. So if I have that regular format here, which is so like this time, that should work. And then if I wrap this in, JSON string like this, still works. And then if I put this in quotes, there we go. There's your problem, right? So right away, let's put this in single quotes. So then it can escape like that. Still a problem, right? So there you go. Now, what if I just escape these quotes here? Still a problem, right? So you can see it's just not going to work with a JSON string. Now, we also have this in quotes as well. Just like that. Now, if I escape these ones here, just as a final thing. Right. Oh boy. Okay. How are we going to fix this? Let's fix this. We can always do a JSON converted file, or we can use the Python JSON library from PyPy to do this. Just will require more work. So I'd rather maybe just play with the formatted string here to actually make it work. You know what? Let's do that. Instead of dumping, all right, new idea. So instead of dumping JSON here, we're just going to dump a regular string, and then we're going to hope this string gets converted to JSON. Okay, let's just do a test like that. So here you go. So the problem here is this JSON object is invalid format. Okay, that's not a valid Python format. So where is my little string here? It's funny that on their website, Docker says something else, right? But it doesn't match with the code that we see here. So it's a bit of a problem. Yeah. Since using serialized internal serialization, this format needs to be different. It has to match like a regular string format, not a JSON format. All right. Yeah. I find it hilarious that they keep putting JSON format right here, and we know JSON format is not going to work with serializes there. But if you remove the serialized, then you can just replace this whole thing with the function above, right? So they have two options there. Either you use decode in here, but you then you convert the whole thing to a string, and you don't use serialize. You just dump it as a message, or you use serialize true, but then this string has to be different, right? So lack of consistency, I suppose. Yeah. I'm just going to grab this one from below here. So we have a default format. I don't like this one. It's a garbage one. Let's make this a starting point. Actually, wait, there's a better one just right above that for the CSV one, right? Okay. Yeah, let me grab this one. Yeah, let's grab this one. Okay, let's just grab this one here. All right. Just like that. All right. What's he complaining about? Right. All right. So let's run this thing here right now and let it reload. Yeah, it's still going to crash. It has to reload. Okay. Okay. Let's go away. Let's run it again. Yeah, it is a bit annoying with two processes running for each debug. Yeah, it's just looking better now. Let's clean this up. So there's a JSON object here. It's working now. Yeah, so we're not using the serialization custom one. We're just using the one that comes with the package here. And we have to give it basic string, which then gets converted to JSON, right? Since that's what's happening, let's just clean this up, okay? All right, let's go into cleanup mode. Okay, first of all, let's just get rid of this serialize here, because again, it wasn't working. So I don't want to confuse people. It was just used for patching. Okay, cool. Second thing is, stop this. Chat, stop this. Second thing, let's just change this little piece of code here, just to make it more consistent. So now we have three different options. For the JSON one, we're just going to give it a lot more. Right, let me see what we're going to do here. You know what? I'll combine these two things here, except for the serialize equals to true. Okay. So first, I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more here, and then let's do that. So I still want to have a timestamp. Let me see. So this little elapsed object here that we have. So we can get the time and the time zone. So we do have a time zone here. And we do have the time here. So I can convert the time to human readable version with a time zone, but I can also convert it to a timestamp as well. Not the elapsed time. Elapsed time, no, I don't care about that right now. Okay. All right, let's do this. So let's add a little bit more level file line. What else did I have here? Where's my little code here? So I also had level file process, right? Process process ID and the line number, right? No, we have line number. So we have a file. I want to put module here. Sorry, module. Yeah, let's do module. Module. Let's just add process. and a thread. Okay, cool. Anything else? File. So we get the time, file, module, process, thread, line, function, and a message. So I like that. Now for the timestamp, so anyway, so we have time, which is human readable. I'm gonna put the Z at the end just to get a time zone as well in there. And do we need a timestamp? We really don't, do we? Let me look at this elapsed thing here. So do we care about elapsed time? No. File, function, level, line, message, module, name. Name. Do we have name? I didn't put name. The name is what? The name is the name of what? What is the name for? This is the name of the class, right? Name. No, sorry, name of the module. But isn't it under module? What's module then? Oh, well, let me just format this quickly. So file, we have file. Yeah, file is good. Function, level, line, message, and then module. So module, okay, and then the name. So that's the full name, right? Fully classified. Okay, and the process. All right. And time. So for the process, I just need the ID. For the thread, I just need the ID as well, not the name of the thread. Or do we need the name? No, let's go with the name, not the ID. I don't care. And for the process, I want to get the process ID. For the name, let me just put the name as well. So I have the name, fully qualified name, which should match the file as well. Okay. So let's add module, process, thread, function, line. So here, I want to put the name here. And let me just to be more pedantic, let me just move the process and the thread before, because I'll use the same thing above. So I have a file here. I like to have the thread here. Now for the thread, I want to get the process ID. No, process ID. And for the thread, I want the thread name, right? What's the thread name? Where's the thread name? Oh, I can just go like this: process.id and then thread.name. All right, so that's what I want, and I'm going to move this up to the top as well here. So now this, don't know why this called a CSV. This is not even a CSV, so I don't even know what the hell that, this is pointless. I don't know why they have the CSV version, even they're calling it CSV version. So why? All right, there's no point to that. And also there's no point to this one as well. So I want to have the log format as the listing here that I pass in, and then let's combine this into one, really, because the only difference is the serialize equals to true. Okay, let's just clean this up. So there's no need for this container CSV. I don't know what the hell that is. That just whatever. Okay, so I'm just going to have just basic container JSON. Cool. Now coming back here, CSV, I'll just remove these comments because they don't make sense. All right. And what we can do now is just move this to the top. So we're going to have a default format. If not, we'll provide a format. So we start with that. If you can format itself, it'd be nice, but you can't because you suck. All right. And then the format. So the only thing that makes a difference here is this. So we're going to standard out and, oh my God, shut up, cursor. Oh, VS Code, they all look the same to me. Yes, we're racist against the IDs. They all look the same to me. The only thing we care about is this serialize equals true or not. So if container equals to JSON, then we set the serialize flag to true. So then we set the serialize flag to true, serialize. Whatever. We'll fix this in a second. And then we have serialize here equals to serialize without spelling mistakes. All right. And then we're starting with serialize equals to for everything else. Oh my God, dude, what's with these stupid code suggestions, man? Jeez. All right, so a little bit more explicit. There we go. So that is just a starting point. Okay. Yeah, keep it like that. Okay, and then the logout format is going to be this. So LangFlow format. LangFlow log format is going to be this. Okay, that's a starting point. This is what we want for all of our logs as a default. Is it already in this file? Nope. Okay. So this is our default format. Okay, sweet. I'm just going to add this also to my env file. So we have it here. All the gbis. Okay, there we go. So we can configure that whenever you want to, which is good for a container as well. Then here, let's clean this up. So we no longer need this thing here. Nope, that's gone as well. This is gone, and this is all gone. Okay, so that makes it much simpler and more functional. And should I have VS Code? Let's fix this. All right. So there we go. So we're gonna get our default format here. If you don't have it, we're using this one here, which is the one that just comes with whatever the default here, human readable, whatever. Just use it for dev. We always provide our own, and then serialization is just basically if it's a JSON or not. The other one is just okay. What's your problem here? Okay. All right, now let's just fix this. Now we can just do with a simple trident statement here, right? So I'll just fix this. Just do a quick fix. Replace. All right. All right. Let's see if that's good. Oh, hey, I'm happy with this right now. Except why is this complaining? True, else. Remove if unnecessary. What? No, it's not. True if environment otherwise is full. No, it's good. What's your problem? What are you complaining about now? Okay. All right, sure. That's even better. All right, let me start this and let's run this. So we can compile this container finally and run it in our prod environment or semi-prod. Which one is invalid? So we have a little bug in here with the string. So this is, which one is invalid? Style, what for style, what? What? Which one's invalid? Sorry, I'm not seeing the error. Which one? Would be nice if you give me the freaking thingy. But hold on, I don't. Where is this coming from? Like, I'm using the correct. Oh, is it UV corn? Hold on. There's something weird happening here because the string is correct. Oh, it's this one here, valid format. Okay, that's what I thought. What is this function here? This is for what? Oh, it's a helper function they have here to look at the logs formatting. Was it always here? Oh, let me just double check the Git. Yeah, they always had it here. Okay, cool. All right, you know what? Let me close this and ignore this specific format because this is not valid because of this thing here, right? Right. They're looking for the the percent sign style type of thing, which is what you use for regular logger style. In our case, we're using a logger style, which is a little more powerful. So in this code, I'm going to ignore this. So how many times is this used in this class? Okay, so here, okay, so I'll leave it for their piece of code. I'll just remove it from my piece of code here. So yeah, let's just do this. And for the default, you know what, let's provide the default here. So then, let me look at this default here. Green, yeah, okay, let's use that as default, sure. Okay. All right, let's see if this works now. So I see a mistyped process in my file. Where's process? Process, two S's, right? All right, and then process here. All right, let's run this again. It's looking much better now. Much better. Okay, let me just grab one of these logs and just parse it with a JSON parser just to see if, oh, crap. Let's just grab one of them. Let's grab this one. Where's my JSON parser? Just want to verify it. We'll do a unit test in a second as well, just to verify it, but I just want to have a quick smell test to see how it looks. All right, it's just kind of tiny, but let's see how this looks. All right, I'm good. I'm good with this. So we have our text here. The text is, okay, that's a full text. Okay, so text is its own thing, and then we have the record. Elapsed time. Okay, so exceptions. Think about the exception. So file is good. Function is good. Level. That's just too deep. I need. Okay, so let's just fix this a bit. So I don't care about the whole shebang here. I just need the, what's it? Here, process ID, and I need the thread name. Why is it dumping the whole thing for me? I don't want the whole thing. I just want the time is good. And we have human representation, timestamp as well. One, that's a nice benefit, but I didn't ask for that though. Right. That's just too much noise. I don't need the text. And for the record, I just need parts of the record here, right? So Let me look at this. Yeah, so this still has the text. Okay, so why are they adding the text? I didn't care for the text. All right, let's format this more. So this is a bit of an issue here. Let me put a breakpoint here just to verify that we're getting the correct format. Not here. A little bit higher. All right. Stop this and just rerun this again. Right, so that's the format. So it looks good. I don't know why it's adding the additional stuff. Okay. Serialize equals to true, sure. Format, okay. So you know what? I'm going to put a breakpoint in. Where am I going to put the breakpoint? Yeah, I want to put it when it's emitting here. I want to see why it's actually adding additional information when it's dumping the log. It's not respecting my format. Standard out, format, blah, blah, blah. It's all, yeah, it seems good. All right, let's see. First of all, let's look at the record. What's in the record, just to double check. Right, so the record has everything. Again, we don't need everything. We just need fraction of this. Well, most of it, but not everything. All right, and the string, cool. So that is good. So when it's formatted, let's look at the formatted string before it gets changed again. So oh, it has everything here? Debug? No, it's just following. Okay. So it looks good before it gets serialized. Yeah, there's the ID, there's the thread. So what's happening when it's actually getting, is it sterilized? Sterilize the true, sure. Once it gets sterilized, what happens? Does it change during sterilization process? Do we have to mess with that? Oh, okay, there we go. So when it's sterilizing it here, it's actually adding more information. So, sorry, sterilizing it. Wow, I think it's time for lunch. With some sugar. So when it's actually doing the serialization here, it's actually adding more. Why is it adding additional? Okay, let me put a breakpoint here in the sterilization, right? Okay, let's have a peek at this. Just step into this quickly. What's happening here? What's happening here? So, oh, I see. Okay, so that's the serializable here. Okay, so there you go. So there's the message. You know, I'm not mad at this. I think I keep it. It's just additional information that we really don't care about that much, do we? But then why does it care about the format, right? The format should be irrelevant at this point. So the format is what? If that's the serialization it's using, I don't really care about the format, right? I can't even change the format because of the serialization, right? Yeah, it doesn't respect the format. So here's the format, here's the record, and then yeah, it just dumps the whole message back. Okay. Yeah, boy. All right, let's see. So here, where's the text? So here's the text, but it doesn't really care about the text that much because it just right. The text is just passed in here. All right, let me tweak this. I'll still want to stick with the serialization, but I don't need that much in the text, man. So then I'm just going to go back to just dumping what? Nothing? The format should be nothing at this point. Yeah, because they're still passing the record, right? So who cares what the format is if it's being serialized? I'll keep it the way it is because I don't want to mess with this too much. Again, there's other problems here. So using the default serialization is good enough for me, even though it has additional information in this record. Like here, who cares about the icon on the freaking log level? Like, who cares about that, right? Just give me the name, what the log level is, right? Not that freaking icon. Who cares about the icon? Come on. Why would you put an icon on the level anyways? So that's just additional information in the logs that we don't need, but I'm not going to mess with this right now because let me think. If I overwrite this quickly, let me just see. So if I go back here, if I set this to false, at that point, a little bit higher. Yeah. There's no good way around this. I mean, I would pretty much cancel this, set this to false, and then do my own serialization before the message is here. But then I will have to do my own sync. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to deal with this additional information here. Initial data, additional data. The only thing I'm going to change is then I'm going to change what? Let's change here the format. Since the format is really what goes into the text section, right? So just close some of these things here. Don't save. Close this. Here, because the format, what really goes into the text section here, I don't really care about the text because it's going to be parsed here anyways, right? Just like that. So I just need about the record. So the text can be empty pretty much as far as I'm concerned, right? You don't have to put anything into it. Right. And the exception will be just still added on top of it at the end, right? So yeah. Okay. You know what? I'll leave it. It's fine. All right, we'll just leave it like that. Screw it. It's good enough. I really mean it's good enough. All right. All right, let's finish here. Let's just write some unit tests just to make sure that the refactoring that we did works here. Obviously, the patch is gone. The serialization is gone because who cares about that? It wasn't working. Yeah, they're not going to like my pull request, will they? All right, but I'm happy with the output then. All right, moving on. Let's stop this. Here, I'm just going to change this to just container. See if the serialization kicks in on that. In the meantime, let's look at the tests, see if you broke any tests. There we go. So there's our, so it's working, okay? It's not colorized. Should we add some colors to that one? At least maybe on the log level, just to see. But who cares that they're Docker logs, right? So, the whole point of them is just to be scraped and dumped into a Loki, and then we can make a nice, beautiful dashboard there with colors. Okay, so I don't care about the colors here. Anyway, so that works. All right. I'm gonna leave the container here, not container JSON for debugging, running locally because it's just more readable. So where else? Yeah, we got test unit tests here, see if they're actually running properly, if we need to fix up any of them before I start deploying the application. And I think that's the last thing I want to do is just fix the logs. I think that's the only thing. The exception part, you know what, if it's in JSON, the exception will be part of the JSON too. So let me just look at some of these messages coming in here. Okay. What are we going to do here? Let's look at the tests. So let's ignore Playwright. We're just going to look at the Python test right now, just the backend tests. Let's see, where is the logger test? Logger. Here, I see one. Let's run this. Let's see how badly we broke the system. All of them passed? Okay, well, that's interesting. Oh crap, what happened here? Let's just go to this one. What the hell they're testing here? Oh, they're testing the rolling of the logs in the log buffer. We don't care about that for containerization. So I think I need to add additional logs in here. So, well, they're all passing. That's good. No problems there. So we didn't break any of the previous functionality. We refactored that stuff. Yeah, it's all buffer stuff so far. Okay. Oh boy. Let me generate some new logs here. Yeah, I don't feel like doing it myself. Let's just get Cody, not Cody. Let's get Klein to create Sonnet. Let's use Mini. Let's do a skeleton. Okay, you know, I'll just tell it to. What am I gonna tell it? Let's see. What are we going to test? We are going to test configure. Unit test this bad boy. So let's test. And let's test configure logging. This is the one I added. So this is the refactoring. And let's also test. Well, this is already tested by the other ones. Okay, let's just test this one here. Yeah, fine. Let's also add some tests for this. Let's see how much it's going to cost me to create a skeleton testing for these two functions. Oh, look, it cost us cent, 2 cents. Nice. Another cent. Better be good logs. Come on, client, hurry up. Lunch is waiting. Dude, what's happening? Are you chewing through my tokens right now? Come on. There we go. Finally something happening. Okay. Sweet. Only almost a dollar, almost. It was worth it. Okay, let me look at the skeleton here. Yeah, let's move this a little bit up, this bad boy up. Let's remove this. All right. Where is my, here. So let's have a look. So here, disable logger. We're monkey patching here. Oh boy. Monkey patching disabled, and see if it's disabled. Let's run this. Sweet. Let's just put some comments here. Damn it, client. Next time add doc strings as well. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's just ask it to update doc strings so I can just save on typing. My little fatty sausage fingers are not happy. Update the new tests and add doc string. I should ask it to ask classes as well. I always put type safety in my tests as well. Come on, Klein. There we go. That's a good boy. Okay. Let's see if these make sense now. Thank you. All right. So the first one is configure disable logger. Sure. Monkey patch. Like I say, I want to put type safety here. So for the monkey patch, let me use my previous test for API testing. When I use a monkey patch here, monkey patch. Where's monkey patch? Monkey patch. Oh, didn't I use monkey patch? No, I use mocks. God damn it! I use test mocks. Anybody know what the class is for monkey patch? You know what? Let's go back to client because you did a bad job, son. Okay. Add types to the function parameters. Oh, did all of them? All right, good. Oh, it says PyTest monkey punch. Okay, whatever. I knew that, right? All right, so running this test here. Let me see. Test calling configure disable true. Yes, we're disabling it. Oh, it's still running. Oh, dude, calm down, dude. I thought you finished. What happened? Dude, you did a good job first time, man. You didn't have more tokens? Son of a bitch. Still not done? We're getting up to there. Look, it's almost $1.50. Damn it. It's breaking the bank. $1.50. What is he doing? He just did it once already, bro. Dude, calm down, man. I didn't ask you to do everything. Just one freaking class. What is it Russian client wants to edit this? Okay. I give it approvals to do everything. Maybe that's too much power. It's changing all my files randomly. Come on. Come on. Is it done? Dude, you're going crazy here, man. This is what happens when you give people language models bad prompts. All right, let's see what happened here. It went a bit cray-cray, but you know what? Why not? It updated the other ones as well. Cool. All right. I won't hold you against you this time. All right, so that's good. So we're disabling it. Yeah, we're expecting it to be disabled. Yep. Sweet. Here. Oh, they're following that rough. Okay, so this has to be. It's like this. Test, configure, container logging, like this, and then you just put the enter, and that should be make it happen. Okay. It's kind of silly. It expects a title and then description. We don't care. All right, so this one is what? We are monkey patching add, and then we just deleting the log format. All right, let's run this. So that should be a good test. All right, I'm happy with that test. Now here, same idea. You know what? I'm just to make the linter happy. Let's see what happens here. We adding a fake handlers here. Yeah, it's good. All right. This is just testing their code. Okay. Well, at least the stuff I refactor just to make sure that it's not busted. Okay, that's good. Moving on. This one is configure call standard. What does that mean? Calls remove. Then we calling add configure. And then we're calling it what? What is this? Non-container? So it's gonna go here if it's not container. Okay. All right. Let's see if that flow makes sense. Just make it a little bit more grammatically correct. All right, let me just double check this test here if it's actually good. Yeah. Yeah, and it failed. What does it say? The log object has no attributes set up. Okay, let me just double check that one. So it's complaining about this, right? Yeah, this one here. Let's just have a look at the function name. There's copy, paste, copy, and paste. Sometimes you have to make that. Okay, no, that's correct. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. That seems like was it? Oh wait, LangFlow logging. Is it base? Lambda. Where's the URL? Logging. Oh, it's coming from base, right? Source. LangFlow. Wait, hold on a second. There's something wrong here. Yeah, it's coming from base, not from LangFlow. I'm assuming it needs to have a base and monkey patching as well. So here, base. No, hold on. What is it? Backend. Hold on a second. Ah, boy. 1 second, un momento, por favor. Did it just hallucinate the package? I think it hallucinated the package. No, it's the right package, right? Here's the right package, okay. So let me see, what else is wrong here? Attribute error. It looks like, but it's checking the logger object, not, okay, is the right object here? What the hell we're monkey patching here? It's not the logger object. We're not patching the logger object. We're patching just the function name. Hold on a second here. What's happening here? Why is this? So it says log. Where is it? Log guru handler. I must be blind because I'm not seeing this. So what's going to be about logger? We don't have a logger here. Logger is here, the variable logger. We're not monkey patching the logger. We're patching that specific module. Oh, geez. Did you punk me, Klein? Did you hallucinate something here? Let's just do it with the class, not a name, not a path. Oh my god, test results here. So let's change this a bit just to make sure. So I'm going to import the specific class. So import what's it, LangFlow. Let's just import this thing here. All right, and let's give it a name. So this is going to be our logger module, and then we can just take the module here instead of the whole thing and just do it like so, right? So just put the function here and then this before the function like so. So then we know it's the right one. Oh, come on, code completion. Dude. Same here. Let's just all right. So this should avoid any potential issues with incorrect. Yeah, shut up. Let's run this. Hold on, is this even here? It says it's missing this attribute, but it's there. Well, at least I know the the path is correct. What's wrong with your monkey patch? Where is the problem? Local handlers file has. Why is it thinking I'm doing this one? What the hell is your problem? I got nothing. Lack of sugar. Time to go for lunch. Well, let's just fix this test before we go for lunch, man. Okay, let's just do that. So we can come back and really just start deploying stuff. Boy. Why is the monkey patch complaining? Monkey patch should not complain, right? So I can use a patch or just simple unit test mock patch as we did in the other tests. So I don't have to monkey patch it. Let me do a printout here, man. What the hell is happening? Let's just do a printout. Are you telling me it doesn't have it? Print. Just log a module, not a file. I just want to do a printout here. No, just like that. Okay. Yeah, shut up. Just a simple print. And obviously PyTest is catching it because it hates me. Let's do a logger. Fine, PyTest. Let's do a freaking logger. From and just dump the. What's your problem? We import. Oh, because we have a logger here. Oh shit. As sure. All right. Just to double check, just to make sure that I have the right log. Let's just go testing. Okay. So I got nothing. Nothing. Maybe this with a patch, man. I mean, with mock. Yeah, let's do a quick example here with, so I'm just gonna ignore this. Sure, if this works, I don't care right now. So I'm gonna do this with patch. So I'll just import this from unit test patch, yes, with patch, yes. Do all that stuff with patch. And we missed something here with the code completion. What happened? We want to, what are you doing? Like this, right? Yeah. I don't know why. No, I don't. What? Dude. So this should be, and this should be, crap. It should be this. I want this here. And I want one more patch with, we can do multiple patches here. So like this and patch this. Okay, so that should be the same thing as above. I don't know what the end is there. There's no end. I mean, I just need a comma here. What is there an end? Code completion sucks today. What's happening, bro? All right. So just like that. So this is equivalent to this thing here at the top. Okay, let's see if this works. All right, cool. All right, just get rid of the monkey patch here. Go away. It works now. Damn it. This some monkey. Okay. Let's just move this to the top then. That's why I don't like using monkey patching, because it just always comes up. Oh, it already has the patch there. Okay. All right. And where's the logger? Yeah, deleted it. Okay, cool. All right, let's clean this up. Now I have both monkey patch and patch. Let's run this. People are undecided. It'd be like, look at this code. It's like, what the hell just happened here? You're monkey patching here, and you have a patch here. But it's interesting that the same patch did not work with monkey patch, right? I don't want to get into why it didn't work, but it just these are kind of the little things to remember. Anyways, that's why I always start with a patch, not a monkey patch. Let me look at this test first of all and see if it's valid. Yeah. We're asserting that config call, yes, and not calls, sure. All right, so we have some basic tests. All right, I'm gonna end it here. We're good to build the containers and start doing the CI/CD pipeline for these new containers, the code that's been updated. We have lots of changes here for this LangFlow, what you call it, open source project. What the hell do they call it? KubeVirt. This one here, right? So we made a lot of significant changes to the front end, to the back end, to the DevOpsy part, right? We have on the Helm chart. So we really did a lot of work here, fixing up a lot of issues here with LangFlow. Again, just to make it production ready and adding single sign-on. So we have an Agentic AI system up and running in production. It's all about Agentic AI these days, right? So it's good to go. So now the next step is to just commit this to our repo, which is going to trigger a build the containers, and then we just adjust the Terraform. Since we separate the CI and the CD, they're not in the same place. They don't trigger each other. They're separated for a reason. So then we'll just deploy a Terraform again, apply it, and just see if we're ready to go. And if it's good, then I guess the next thing will be just to focus on creating some of these AI workflows for DevOps. Start building DevOps engineers to replace myself. God damn it. Time to retire. Yeah, all right. So anyways, a lot of changes here. So see about that. We'll be back after lunch, and CI/CD is next, and then full prod deployment. Let's see how it behaves in prod. Where's my little window here? All right. I have to say good day till come back in an hour.